today's video, this is going to be my second installment in my financial foundation series, and today we're going to talk all about a budget, which is something super exciting to me because I'm so OCD. So if you want to learn more about why a budget is essential, how to budget, all that great stuff, please keep watching. Okay, so I want to reiterate from the last video that I am by no means a financial guru expert. I don't have a degree in finance, none of that. These are just series of videos that I've come up with because finances gets brought up on my channel quite often, and even when I talk to my social circle in real life, these are the things we often talk about, and this is from my experience, whether it be from real life experience, reading, learning about different things, or things that other people have taught me that I put into practice. So the first thing I want to talk about in terms of your budget is to change the way you think about getting paid. Okay, so when I get paid, one thing that I was always saying was my budget is already allocated. So when a lot of people get paid, the first thing they think of is, ooh, I have all this extra money, so cut that out. The first thing you want to think of when you are paid, you're on the same playing field as the end of the last week. You're not coming into a bunch of money. Your money essentially should already be allocated. And I say that because with a budget, when I get paid, I automatically know a certain portion is going to this, a certain portion is going to that, and so on and so forth. So changing your mindset can really just change your relationship with money. When it would be the Tuesday before I get paid, I would already be like, my budget is allocated, and everyone at work would be like, oh, let's go out. I'm like, my budget is allocated. All my money is allocated. And when I say that, I mean I already know where my money is going, and that is one of the best steps that you can take to make yourself have, you know, a bit of financial freedom in terms of your money, is having a sound budget. I think I read a statistic that only 24% of millennials are financially literate. Now, I'm a millennial, and I think that that statistic is right about on target. When I look at my own friends group, or when I look at the statistics overall, or things that I know about people in my age group, I don't know. I think millennials are not that great with budgeting. I think a lot of us kind of live in the now. We don't plan for the future. Hardly any of my friends in my same age range are thinking about retirement, and I just think our mindset is to live in the present, and that's not always a bad thing, but having a sense of financial literacy and being good with a budget can really take you far. So I want to talk about something that parents can do with their children to actually start getting them on a budget. So what I would say is that when your children are young, start them doing chores around the house, whether it's cleaning their room, taking out the trash, doing the dishes, anything like that, walking the dog, and put them on a contingency based allowance. So when I was young, I think I would get paid like every other week, and up until a certain age, I think maybe until about high school, I was getting however old I was. So if I was 10 years old, I did my chores every 2 weeks, I would get $10, and that really helped me to start to sort of budget even from a child, because I knew that, and I can't even fathom what I was spending my money on as a child, but I knew that at the end of the week or at the end of the month, I had X amount of money. If I wanted to buy a toy, I could do it. But that is something that I really appreciate that my parents did, and it was contingency based. So if I didn't do well in school, or if I didn't do those chores, I wasn't getting paid. And if you think about it, that's kind of what happens when you're an adult. If you're not doing your job, either you won't get your bonus at work, or you might even be let go from your job because you're not meeting your performance. So that's definitely one of the best things that I'm glad my parents instilled in me, is you don't just get paid for living, you get paid for doing. So starting a contingency based allowance is something that you can start your kids on very young, and I think that was one of the keys to success, just me knowing how to budget. There are a couple different ways that you can budget. Some people do an envelope system where they take cash out of their account, or maybe you get paid in cash, and you have an envelope for every category, whether it be your rent or mortgage, your groceries, eating out, things like that. Now, I am not a person that handles cash well. I don't like having cash, although cash is actually a smarter method because I spend less money when I use cash. I just don't like touching cash. So I use a budget that I make for myself in my phone, and I'm gonna go through that. But there are also some budgeting apps that you can use. One of my favorites is Mint. I think it's actually an online my website and maybe an app for your phone. But Mint is really great because you can set limits for yourself. So I know I got an email at the end of last month that said I exceeded my eating out budget by like I'm not gonna say how much, but, and I really don't understand why it said that because I really didn't eat out last month, but you can definitely set limits within the Mint app, so I really like that. Lots of times, whatever bank you bank with, sometimes they have an app or something that's built into your regular mobile banking app that can help you budget. But however you do your budget, whether you use your checkbook, old school, put it in your phone so you carry it with you, do an envelope system, a budget is going to be your best tool. So a budget is basically a spending plan. It is a guide to tell you where your money goes. So it's allocating your money. So that's why I would always say my money is already allocated. Instead of just living your life willy-nilly every day, you're telling your money where to go. I would recommend tailoring your budget around your 3 to 5 year goals. So my 3 to 5 year goals might include buying a house. Someone's 3 to 5 year goals might include adding an additional child to their family. So I would say build your budget around your immediate needs and your goals. So for me, that means I know I need to be saving a lot of money towards a house because that's important to me. Whereas someone who's already a homeowner, you don't really need to construct your budget around that. But I think it's important when you're creating a budget or sticking to a budget to think about the things that you're going to need in the immediate future, whether it's a vacation, you know, your kids are gonna need new clothes, maybe you need clothes for yourself, anything like that. So let's talk about percentages. A lot of people like to talk about budgets in terms of percentages. So 50% of your budget ideally will go to necessities, 30% of your budget will go towards wants, and 20% will go towards savings and or giving. Now, a lot of people say like 10% should go to savings and 10% to giving. I like to save 20%. So the first thing I do when I get paid is I always put 20% in savings. Now, like I said, because my goals may include buying a house or buying a car or what have you, I'm going to beef up savings, but I think it's good to have a total, like a summation of your savings equal 20%. So that can be Roth IRA, that can be 401k, liquid savings, any investments, anything like that. But the thing that I always do when I get paid is immediately save. Pay yourself first. That way it becomes automated and you already know as soon as you get paid, 20% is going into savings, no matter how you want to divvy that up. 30% goes to wants. This would include like eating out, entertainment, shopping, all of those things. And I know a lot of people are like, oh, well, how can you do financial videos and then you turn around and do a luxury haul? And I don't know if you guys saw the video about how I afford luxury, but I like shopping. So shopping is something that's important to me. I have a budget line item for shopping. So maybe this month I might add $50 to that fund. Maybe next month I might add a couple hundred. But I'm saving towards that so that when I'm ready to buy whatever I want, I already have money allocated for that. So it's all about working these things into your budget. If you want to go on a vacation, maybe you should cut back in another way and add a line item for vacation. Maybe not eat out this month so that money can go towards vacation. And then 50% of your budget ideally should go towards necessities. So I would say 25% of that should go towards housing. With the things that I've read, I wouldn't spend more than 1/4 of my income on rent or mortgage. I think that's just a good way to free up more of your money towards things that can actually help you make money, investments or savings or things like that. But basically 50% towards necessities, 30% towards wants, and then 20% towards savings and giving. You don't have to give. Something that I also do, I don't use any of the apps that I talked about. I don't use my mobile banking app to necessarily budget. I don't use the Mint app anymore, though I did previously. I like to have a running note in my phone of my budget. So whenever I get paid, I'll put my income at the top and I'll automatically deduct my money that goes into savings. So that will be my starting monthly, I guess, allotment. And then I'll have every category. So groceries, I'll have an amount. Going out will have an amount. If I'm shopping that month, I will have an amount for that. So I like to keep my budget in my phone so that as I'm going through my week, when I'm getting gas, when I'm getting groceries, if I'm going out with friends, I can deduct it in my phone. And every time before I do spend money, I know because I have an updated figure in my phone of what I have in my account. And that's something that I like to keep track of, because a bill might not always post to your account, but it's gonna come out. So I like to keep a live document, if you will, of my budget in my phone. That just helps me. I'm very OCD about my numbers. I like them to be exact. So that's something that works for me. But try out different things. You might want to use an app. You might want to do the cash only method. That probably is gonna help you save a bit more money if you are physically seeing the money leave from your envelope or your hands. So basically this whole video was just about getting you guys to think about different ways to budget. I know that as a millennial, sometimes it's very hard, especially if you live in a larger city, you have a big social network, you want to go out and have fun, and all these things are really expensive. And you'd be surprised how much just setting a budget for the different things that you want to do month to month can actually help save you money, because you can see where to cut out. Maybe you can see that, whoa, I'm spending $50 a week on Starbucks. I could save that and I'd be able to go on a vacation, I'd be able to invest that, or anything like that. So having a budget, it just gives you such a peace of mind. And I'm just so glad that I have the mentality of, when I get paid, my budget is already allocated, so that I don't just run to the mall and think that I can just buy whatever I want. Because in reality, if you have bills that occur every month, your budget really is allocated. So I found that just switching your mindset, how you think about money, what's your relationship with money, that can really just help catapult you to maybe reaching and achieving those financial goals that you have for yourself. So yeah, that's all I wanted to talk about in this video. I've really been enjoying this series, and from the comments, you guys are as well. I just think it's so nice to be able to share my tips with you guys, and you guys share your tips with me. And I think that that's great, because we can all take something from somebody else. If you guys have any comments or questions, please feel free to leave them down below, and I will see you in the next video. Bye.